Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to a video all about everyone's favourite salt-powered robot. That's right, it's all about Bastion. So what are we doing? We're starting a game with me playing as Hanzo. The audio in the background will cut in and out a bit because I was talking very loudly during this game, so I will cut that out so I'm not talking over myself because that's really confusing in the audio. Why am I playing Hanzo? Why is this game first up? There will be a game afterwards, by the way, where I am playing Bastion, but I'm playing Bastion more how I played him towards the end of the closed beta, meaning when people had sort of figured out how to beat him. And this is the thing, and this is what I want to talk about today a lot, is when you're dealing with a team that knows how to deal with Bastion, and this team that I'm on, like the six I was running with for a bunch of the beta, doesn't quite know how to beat Bastion, but has a good idea, and with me on Hanzo, we have more than enough to deal with Bastion reliably. Yeah, you could see it. And oh, this Tracer position, I love this. I love this. Hello, Tracer. Hello, sweetheart.
Tracer doesn't know that I can.
Hello, honey buns. How have you not realised that I know exactly where you are? Unfortunately, close range. This battle is always a bit of a wonky one. It's been an iffy one, but hello. Hi, thank you, Zenyatta. There we go. Nice and easy push out. I see him. And someone instantly calls out Bastion top left, and we know where he is. Now we're in a 6 stack, so it's a bit unfair, but Bastion down. That's it. Priority. That's how you beat Bastion. You prioritise him accordingly. And the big realization that I had is that people just don't prioritize him enough, which sounds weird because he just draws so much ire, but people really don't. Bastion is your highest priority. He's so easy to deal with for pretty much every character if you prioritize him correctly. And it frustrates me so much because I say things like, okay, Bastion's here, like, well, not here, but I say Bastion back, left, higher, or whatever, and when I call out the position. And then people wouldn't focus him. And this is like one of the first realizations with Bastion, and by the way, don't do that with Widowmaker. You deal like 20 damage a shot, tops, so don't spam that fast, it doesn't work. Anyway, Bastion does more damage, if left unmolested, than any other hero on their team combined.
He's moving.
He will deal more hurt to your team than anyone else if they don't have an ultimate or something going off. He will kill everyone you know and love if you don't kill him first. Now he only has 300 hit points, so killing him first isn't that difficult unless you filter in and you fail to focus fire. That's literally it. That's how you beat Bastion. But it's that burden of knowledge, and that's what I'm going to spend most of the time in this video talking about, is the idea of burden of knowledge in Overwatch. So for those of you who've played MOBAs, you've probably heard this term before, because I know Morello, lead designer, one of the lead designers over at Riot Games for League of Legends, loves talking about burden of knowledge, and particularly loves talking about it in the context where he's going to bring up Dota 2, because Dota 2 is a game which has super interesting mechanics in it, but a lot of them rely on burden of knowledge. So one example of ability, I think it's called Lacerate, I might get that wrong, but it's an ability, it's one of the ultimates on Bloodseeker, I think it is, who basically puts a bleed on you. And if you move while it's on you, and this is the important part, if you move while it is on you, it deals very high sort of damage over time. If you stop moving, it stops dealing damage. It's a super interesting mechanic, but it's one of the sort of poster childs of burden of knowledge, because if you don't know about this ability and he casts it on you, you'll panic and freak out, and the first thing you'll do is move, and then you'll keep moving because you keep taking damage, and then you'll die. It's not like, you know, it's easy to sort of understand and stop when you're in a fight and go, oh, I should stand still. That's just not realistic. He will win in that situation because you just took a shitload of damage. Now, the hope is that you then go, wait, why did I just take so much damage? That doesn't seem right. Oh, hello, Bastion, by the way. I see him.
Hello,
this
Bastion.
is a good way of countering Bastion.
Goodbye, Bastion.
Yeah. He can't dodge that. Anyway. The hope is that the player will then go, well, why did I die to that ability? And think for a moment and go, maybe I should look into this and what this ability does, and then you look into it and you go, oh, I should stand still, and then you know more about that ability, and now you have a really fun mechanic in the game where if you have that ability on you, you've then got to make a fast decision on, do I move? Do I stand still? How do I deal with this ability when it's on me? Am I safe to stand still? Can people protect me while I am standing still? Is there some way of, you know, removing it? Whatever. There's a million and one things to sort of play around with that. It's a super interesting mechanic, but it's very heavy on the burden of knowledge.
Oh, no.
Now, Bastion is burden of knowledge in Overwatch. It's not quite, and that scatter arrow hurts, by the way. Like, it bounced completely the wrong direction, otherwise it would have done a boatload of damage. Anyway, distracted.
So was that tracer bomb?
Bastion is burden of knowledge in Overwatch, and what do I mean by that? I mean that Bastion is very punishing if you're new and you don't know to not run at him. And the hope is that you run at him once and you go, well, that didn't work. That was a huge amount of damage. What the hell was that? And then you might try it again, and then you go,
Having a tracer off.
that really isn't working. I should try something different. And this is why I've always phrased the question, by the way, of Bastion as never, you know, how do I beat Bastion? The answer is, how do you lose to Bastion? And it's a way of thinking more than a way of fighting him, because there's a million and one answers. There's a million videos gone up. The best one by far, in my opinion, well, not by far, but the best one, a lot of time and production value clearly went into it, is Tactical Koala, a long-time friend of mine. He did an amazing video on how to beat Bastion. There's lots of little scenarios to explain it all, so you can go and see it. I'll put a link to it in the description, and there's also, I recommend, if you're interested about Bastion as well, go and watch Stylosa's video over at Unit Lost about how to play Bastion, because that's hilarious. And I'll actually talk more seriously on how to play Bastion in the next part of this video. Now, how you beat him is more down to mentality, proper focus, and then proper ideas. So you'll see at this point that we're stalled, but we're never stalled due to the Bastion. We're actually stalled due to everything else. We're mostly stalled due to these two Roadhogs and my inability to deal with them. But I think I get this one, yeah, because Soldier 76 is behind me, so he helps me kill that guy. And all I'm doing is going, where's Bastion? Where's Bastion? My priority is Bastion. Everyone's priority is Bastion. After Bastion, it will be Lucio, by the way, then the Roadhogs or Tracer, if we can just pick her off, and then just clean up and push. If you can get those, then great. Oh, so close. So close. Lucio versus Hanzo is a massive pain in the ass, by the way.
Just gonna throw it right on the point.
But you'll see me during this video, all I do is basically all I'm telling the team, by the way, and you'll probably hear my audio cut out every now and then just because I'm talking, and me talking over me is always awkward, so I get rid of that. Also, this is a really sneaky way of firing a dragon, is you just fire it from spawn because it goes on infinitely and you can deal a lot of damage that way. Fortunately, it's not enough to actually get any kills, and no one capitalizes off the back of it. But all I'm doing is I'm looking at the kill feed and seeing, okay, there's a Bastion. Bastion's not dead yet. Bastion's not dead yet. Lucio's dead, that's good. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Discord, beautiful. Absolutely lovely. And another one, boom. So that's two dead.
Beautiful.
Okay, so where is Bastion? That's all I'm asking myself right now. My job is to kill Bastion. Sonic Arrow, found him.
There he is.
Easy kill. He's not looking my way. Okay, poke. He's now looking my way, but I can still out-trade him. Easy. That's how you deal with Bastion. That's literally it. Come from an unexpected angle, find out where he is, put damage into him faster than he can react, and kill him. If he had a Reinhardt, I'd just move further along and then put a scatter arrow into his back, or I'd just fire a shot or two and then fire the dragon at Bastion. That's literally it. Come from an unexpected angle, put damage onto him, and then deal with the threats afterwards. The hope is that you get rid of the Bastion and then you can just start peeling apart the rest of the team, because most teams that play Bastion rely heavily on it, and here's another spawn dragon. It's just, I've been doing this more and more just as an experiment, just to see if it's worth doing. Basically, I just fired at the payload, because what happens is people kind of forget almost that a dragon's been fired, because they hear the noise, but then he's miles away and the dragon spends forever coming over. So I've been experimenting with that. It doesn't quite work as well as intended. Sometimes it works wonderfully. A lot of times it just flubs.
Lucio up above.
But yeah, now all I'm thinking, where's Bastion?
Anyone who can deal with
Where is
Bastion?
Bastion? Where is Bastion? Can I climb this wall? Bastion's probably over here somewhere. There he is. Dead.
Got the Bastion.
That's how you deal with Bastion. Now deal with Lucio. Target prioritization. Simple. That's simple.
Lucio's low. Not anymore.
But he fascinates me from the game design point of view, right? Because to me, Bastion is the answer to the simple attack option, right? Bastion is the simple defense to the simple attack. The simple attack is the Reinhardt slow grind. You get Reinhardt, you put the entire team behind his barrier, and you just walk forward. And you just all stay together and deal a shitload of damage, and they can't kill you because there's 2,000 hit points in front of you. Bastion smashes that into tiny little itty-bitty pieces because he can just break the barrier in no time at all. And bloody hell, that Sonic Arrow hurt. I just, what? Anyway, sorry, I get distracted by the gameplay in the background. I like watching my own games back as well, just for review purposes. But yeah, oh, that was a good shot as well. But yeah, he breaks apart that easier defensive option and forces you into doing other things, into thinking creatively. Hello, Bastion. Oh, he's low. He's now super, super low. He was getting killed by Lucio, and all I'm telling my team is, someone kill him. Someone, why aren't people
focusing the Bastion?
Like, literally, I might actually leave that audio in of me just saying, please kill Bastion. Please kill Bastion. And I think Saf at that point said, well, there's a Tracer killing me. And I literally said in a very resigned voice afterwards, well, ignore the Tracer and kill Bastion.
Fuck the Bastion.
Because
Tank.
Tracer killing you will kill you, sure, but it'll be slower than Bastion killing you. And Bastion's there and easy to finish off. Tracer's not easy to finish off, so let's remove the threats that we can remove. And it's that instinct, and Ray really suffers from this, by the way. Raylan, one of my friends who's also in this game, super suffers from this. Super suffers from this. It's that urge of, this person shot me, I'm going to shoot them back. She's very vindictive as a person, apparently, because she just gets this overwhelming instinct to try and kill people. And I go, no, why are you killing this person instead of killing the Mercy that's healing them, and then when you do kill them, they'll res. But you can see, we break the Bastion, we break the Lucio, we break the Roadhogs, and suddenly everything becomes easy. And we start pushing through. And this is literally all it takes, another force to swap off it onto other things, so we can just go and cap the spawn while the rest of us push in. Nice and clean as a win. Right? Simple. Super simple stuff.
Sweet.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about sort of Bastion and his place in the game, because I know a lot of people get super frustrated by him as player the game runs out. I can't actually remember what this is. Oh, I remember what this is now. Because people find him frustrating, but I think the people who do find him frustrating are the kind of people who won't be invested in the game for a huge amount of time. Because to me, Bastion's role in the game is to kind of force you into swapping that hero pick, and also just to break up those overly defensive picks. It basically makes grinding comps very, very ineffective if you can pull out Bastion. But eventually what will happen, and this happened in the closed beta, and this is why Blizzard, for example, in their infinite wisdom, every single time someone said to them, nerf Bastion, they said, try these heroes. And basically what they're saying to you is, wait and learn. Because they've seen it 100 times now, thanks to the closed beta, where they bring in a new wave, and then a ton of people say, nerf Bastion, nerf Bastion, nerf Bastion, nerf Bastion. And what happens is people just learn how to beat him, and Bastion vanishes. And so what people find is you'll pick Bastion and you'll go, why is this person pick Bastion? Bastion's terrible. And it will literally start being like that. It's like when, you know, you're waiting for someone to pick a support and then they pick Hanzo and you sort of get that sinking feeling in your stomach.
Is everybody shielded?
I'm shielded.
It's so interesting to watch that develop. And what you'll start seeing is, this game in particular, I'm playing Bastion, this game, basically how I played him in the closed beta. Because in the closed beta, people were good enough to where if you try and make a Bastion nest, you know, you try and make a World War I gun emplacement with Mercy, Reinhardt, and Bastion, it doesn't work. They smash it apart in the moment they can get an ultimate up, basically. And so what I started doing was playing Bastion with the mentality of, well, I don't really care about the gun mode. The gun mode is a bonus. If I can get into it, sure. But the moment I start taking any real damage, I'll move and heal. And then fight through endurance. And to keep repositioning, because he has an 0.5 second time between shifting in forms, so I can do that so swiftly and so easily. And again, I'm getting shot, okay, reposition. Like, they have an ideal comp, by the way, for countering Bastion. They have a Zarya who can fire indirectly at me. They have a Hanzo who can shoot me from miles away and deal high damage. And as we saw in the previous game, Hanzo is really good against Bastions. They have a Genji who can pick me off from miles away. They have a Pharah who can pick me off from miles away. I think that at some point they had a Widowmaker to begin with as well that swapped off. They get a Junkrat at one point. They get a Roadhog at one point. They have a team of Bastion counters. And all I do is move. And let the rest of my team fight and just deal with the front line. Well, I'm moving around all over the place, because you'll hear me say this quite often about a lot of heroes, but the unseen Bastion is the deadliest, just to quote Zed from League of Legends. The unseen Bastion is absolutely the deadliest, and I love the way that Lucio sprints away, by the way, when he sees me. But here, like Genji, most Genjis would stop and try and deflect, but I know that, so all I do is I swap to recon form and fight him, and I'll actually win that fight most times. Like, that's the power of Bastion, right? Kill, move, adjust, shift, kill, kill, kill. Get taking damage, okay, I'll grab the health pack here and then fight elsewhere, and then go tank form because my gun's bigger than yours, Pharah, so I'm gonna blow you the hell up. Because tank form is overpowered as hell and insane and beautiful and wonderful. But this is what fascinates me, and I kind of want to know if you guys find Bastion incredibly frustrating, but I'm also interested to know is, did you see him start dropping off towards the end of like the week you had to play? Because I imagine it only takes about 2 weeks for people to figure out, okay, well now we just keep pushing into him and we just surround him and kill him, or there's a million and one ways to isolate him, and that's scatter arrow, bloody hell. And it's so fascinating because I think in about 2 months Bastion will drop off completely. He will just vanish. He'll just be known as a noob trap, and then no one will play him. And then eventually people will start playing Bastion as how I'm playing him. But this is still very forced in my mind. Like, how I'm playing him here is effective, but is it more effective than me playing Soldier 76, for example? Is it more effective than me playing Reaper or McCree or something like that? And in some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. It's a very different pick to what it was. And it fascinates me. And I do love that Blizzard's response hasn't been, okay, we'll nerf Bastion. It's just wait and learn. Because I think Bastion has a place in the game. This is sort of where this meandering video is going. Bastion has a place in the game, and I don't think Burden of Knowledge is necessarily a bad thing. I think that Burden of Knowledge can introduce very interesting and complicated mechanics that aren't really that hard to get past. Now, in a game like Dota 2, I recently tried to pick up Dota 2 again. I played a bunch of Templar Assassin, and it kind of worked. But I had to spend so long just reading items, reading abilities, reading guides. With Overwatch, the only thing that you really need to know is don't run at Bastion and, like, just other things you can kind of figure out on the fly. But don't run at Bastion is the only real massive burden of knowledge. So I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's sort of fundamentally flawed in any way. I don't think he's, I don't know, misplaced in the game in any way. And this is just sort of my address to the people who think, okay, well, remove Bastion. Get rid of him. Because you will learn how to beat him in time. Now, I know that the usual reaction on this channel, by the way, is, in the comments at least, is people saying, well, I didn't have a problem with Bastion. It was my team that had a problem with Bastion, you know. It's the other 5 monkeys that are just running into him over and over and over again. And even if I try and tell them, just don't run at him, guys, then they still do it and they still die. And my answer to that is, give it time. It's the same as with anything, you know. The open beta was an interesting experience for everyone because people who play it want to play the hero, like especially in the first few days. You know, you looked at the game for ages and then you say, man, I really want to play Tracer, and so you play Tracer all the first 2 days, and then you go, well, let's try something else, and then you try Bastion because Bastion's overpowered and killing everyone, and you feel like a terrible human being because you are a terrible human being. You're picking on new players with something that new players can't really handle. Trust me, I've done it before. It's hilarious. And I fully admit, by the way, that I'm a terrible human being. But I think he has a place in the game, and I think that over time people will find uses for him. He's also appeared in a couple of pro games in interesting ways, just dealing with, you know, double Winston cheese, for example, and getting rid of that. So I think Bastion is going to have a place in the game. He's still very important, and he's still very kind of, I don't know, interesting as a hero. I think losing him would be losing something important. And I don't think we should lose him over something that new players will get past in about 2 weeks. Yeah, I've been Josh, as one voice amongst many. This has been a lifesaver play of the game by Bastion, where I saved that guy's life, because he says he's on like 7 health, but yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, tomorrow I'll probably be doing a new round of new player questions. I haven't fully finalized what questions I'll be answering, but if you have them, post them in the comments. I'll double check this video just before I fully record that one. So yeah, post them in the comments here, and I'll be looking back, by the way, through other videos as well, where people are posting shitloads of questions, so I'll be answering those in another video tomorrow, probably. Toodles. Thanks for watching to the end. I've been talking about Bastion for about 20 minutes now. Toodles.
Hands low. Thank you, right?